What's going on, guys? Welcome to Lingo News. Coop over here, as always, and we have a guest. This guest is Jeff Wall, also the host of the Fistic Arts podcast, an MMA and UFC podcast, a renowned MMA and UFC podcast, as we like to call it. Last night, or we'll say Saturday, for the sake of this video, UFC 247 happened, which was Jon Jones versus Dominick Reyes. And Jon Jones retained his title. He ended up not reclaiming, but keeping the throne. And it was kind of marred in controversy because 100%. A lot of people didn't agree. A lot of people thought Reyes should have won. The judging was something that a lot of people were being critical of. You guys are both big fans of the UFC and martial arts in general. So I wanted to get you guys on here and get your opinion as to what you guys think. First of all, should Jones have won? You guys both answer.
No, not a chance.
Why?
Because if it's scored round by round, which people constantly forget, Reyes won at least 3, if not 4 rounds. So if it's judged by that, which it is, then he should have won. Then he won at least 4 of those rounds. Almost everybody thinks that, but somehow Jon Jones gets the nod, and it's a lot of people are saying it's coming down to that stupid rule that you gotta beat the champ to be the champ, which is total bullcrap. Because that means that the champ is actually being held to a lower standard than the challenger, which makes absolutely no sense at all. If you win a fight, you win a fight. You win a round, you win a round. That's how it goes, man.
So you think it's 4-1 for Reyes? It should have been at least 4-1.
I think it should have at least 3-1. You could probably debate that the 4th might have gone to Reyes as well.
I 100% agree, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, because, what I don't get is how does Jon Jones get the nod for those rounds, right? Especially when they're judging based off aggression and everything. Okay, good, he's moving forward and everything, right? But he's getting hit at the same time. Right? So you can't really say that aggression is something that you're taking into account, right? When the person's just getting hit. I get you're being aggressive and you're pushing the pace or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But it seems like the UFC just wants them to stand and bang. That's why they reward aggression. Right? But they're not looking into who's actually doing better.
So everybody is bringing up that one judge that scored it 49-46.
That is complete BS because name me which 4 rounds Jones won.
Right.
Which of them did he decisively win? Right?
Yeah, easily, because it should have been like a blowout, right? In terms of how badly he beat him. But even when you watch the fight, that's not how it looked. It actually looked like Reyes, like you said, was dominating the entire time. Now, you could probably argue the 5th round went to Jones.
Sure.
That's because Reyes was so damn tired from beating him up in the first 4 rounds.
Yeah, exactly. He was playing, conservative because he didn't want to get taken down, get over aggressive, and then, he felt like probably I'm way too tired to get back up, which makes sense because he felt like he had at least 3 rounds in the bank. And which is fair.
Okay, so wait, sorry, go ahead.
Well, one thing I was gonna say was when Jones was doing his post-fight interview, he was talking about how he deserved to win and everything, and how he scored those takedowns.
Okay.
And he thinks that should have been taken into account. Now, I think that's complete BS because those takedowns, Dominick Reyes came up right away.
Yeah, he literally popped back up.
Yeah, and he didn't do anything with those takedowns.
Yeah.
Right. So how can you reward him for those takedowns when he's not doing anything with it? Okay, sure. You took him down, but you expended more energy.
Right.
You didn't do anything good.
And Reyes did a heck of a job, man. A hell of a job.
His takedown defense was surprisingly really good.
Yeah.
I was surprised by that.
And he didn't back down. I know you said Jones was being the aggressor, but Reyes was hitting him every time.
Yeah.
And the other thing I was going to ask you guys is, it didn't seem like we saw the same Jon Jones we've gotten used to seeing. He's not the same fighter that he once used to be. And that's fine. He's getting older. I get it, But do you guys think this is the end of the road for the champion, Jon Jones?
I think, what I personally think is ever since the PED scandals and everything, you've seen a huge decline in his performance.
Right, okay.
Right? Ever since the Daniel Cormier one where he knocked him out after that, then you just see
a slow
regression, right?
Because you come close to finishing anybody.
Yeah, and you see even his body looks a bit different, right? Which is weird to me, right? Because I think that it's basically because he got caught, and now that he doesn't
do that anymore.
Now he can't. There's no way he can do it again. If he gets caught again, this guy's done.
Yeah,
right? This guy's been caught too many times.
Yeah,
right. So I think it's that's a big factor into why he's becoming slowly declined. Now he has to rely more on just his skills or whatever. That's why you see him be more patient and just like do the little knee kicks and everything, keep them at their distance, you know. And he's not just relying on his like strength and everything and all those other boosted skills that he used to have.
Right.
I agree with that too, because like, you know, another thing that PED tends to give you is confidence. A lot of people, they feel the confidence.
Yeah, he doesn't seem that confident.
They feel invincible, whereas Jon Jones used to, you know, he believes in himself. I still believe he's a very confident person, but he doesn't have that edge that would like push him to the point where he would just be killing these people, right? I also just think that, you know, despite the fact he actually doesn't have probably that many miles on him, you know, he's a bigger guy in the gym, he's a more skilled guy in the gym, and in fights he barely ever gets hurt. But I think what's kind of caught up to him is the partying, you know, all the drugs that he's been doing, not taking care of his body. You see it in all sports where if you don't take care of your body, eventually it's going to start to deteriorate.
Absolutely.
And I think, you know, he wasn't necessarily the fast guy. He wasn't like Leo Machida, but he was a quick, fluid guy for the most part. You know, he could move for sure. Now he barely looks like he can move. I think even his skills have regressed too. Basically, the only thing I see him doing well now is kicking. His punching is pretty bad. It's always been pretty bad. But even his wrestling now is pretty garbage. It's awful. It's terrible. Like it's so shocking that that's the one thing that was his base, and even that's regressed to this point, which is crazy.
So moving from Jones to Reyes, right? It's what, his only 14th professional fight? 13th professional fight.
So he had 12 going into this.
Right.
Yeah.
How this guy's going to be a star, right?
Yeah.
This guy's he's certified going to be like one of the best.
The only thing that might catch up to him, which doesn't usually for bigger guys, is that he is 30.
Right.
But he does have an athletic background, but he also doesn't have miles on him, which is good. So he probably could keep that going. You know, he's not really a super explosive guy. I don't see him relying on that. He's a really skilled guy. He's a really smart guy. I think he could probably keep going. He just needs to improve his cardio a little bit.
Are we going to say he's a champion? He's going to be a champion soon?
I think if he gets a rematch with Jon Jones, he could definitely end up being champion.
Okay.
Because he has more to improve than I think that Jon Jones does.
We were watching it last night, the press conference. Dana White even said, I don't know how it was judged that way. You know?
Yeah, it didn't make any sense.
Even he at this point was like, dude, I don't know. They were both fighting the judges, essentially. That's what he said. I want to talk to you guys about an overall thing when it comes to Jon Jones, though, right? Jones, the PEDs that you mentioned, a lot of the partying and things that you mentioned on one side, it has hindered his performance, but it's also hindered his reputation, right? Before all this, he would be arguably the greatest, if not one of the best fighters we've ever seen. Is he still in that conversation, or are you throwing him completely out? I will let the floor, you guys go for it.
I think he's definitely one of the best fighters, if not the best, but he always has that asterisk on his career and his status, right? But if you look at it like skill-wise, skill-wise he's way better than a lot of people, right? But we don't know, because now we're seeing after the PEDs and everything that it seems like his skills aren't that good. Because as you were saying about the confidence stuff, right, that PEDs give you, what I'm seeing is a lack of creativity, which is what made him the best.
Right.
You know, like he doesn't do those weird
like acrobatic kick.
Even the throws, he doesn't do that anymore.
Yeah, the weird elbows that he used to do too. You know, like he's not really doing much of that anymore, which I find weird. So I think definitely, as I'm seeing more of his later fights, that I think the PEDs were a big factor into why he was so good.
And that hurts your ranking of where he'd be.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I think it definitely hurts mine. I mean, I pretty much throw him out because of those. Like, I can't even consider, because I think you made a really good point that, like, it seems that, like, he was a different guy before. That he was a more confident, hungry, aggressive dude, and now he's just not that anymore. Even if I throw him in there, honestly, I think I can name at least 4 guys that are for sure better than him, that have better resumes. You know, Demetrius Johnson, Khabib Nurmagomedov, I think so. I think GSP, I think Aldo. I think all those guys have fought tougher guys, in their prime. Yes, Jon Jones has big names like Lyoto Machida, Rashad Evans, Rampage Jackson. A lot of those guys that I just mentioned were pretty well past it. They were done. Even like Chael Sonnen, like what was he doing there? Chael Sonnen's,
he shouldn't have even been there.
Exactly.
Like, he just got it off his mouth.
Vitor Belfort, the same thing. And then the Daniel Cormier, you know, like the one that is a no contest on his record, right? The one where he finished him and that. There's so many. There's so many times where I just think, man, what's he done better than any of those guys that I could even put him up there?
Right.
You might even say people like McGregor or even maybe like Cain Velasquez are better than him, or Dominick Cruz.
What about Silva, Anderson Silva?
Well, the only thing is that Anderson Silva's popped like 3 times.
Yeah, that's true too. That's true. Yeah,
so it's hard to put him there as well.
Right.
I would still say though he is like one of the best fighters. Like you can't deny it, right? Just okay, maybe he has fought not as much competition as the other people, right? But at the same time, we have to look at his age and what he's done. He's basically never lost. That one loss that he has is just a DQ, right? Over an elbow that he did like this, right? Which doesn't really count as a loss because he was murking the guy even before that. Then when you look at it, he was the youngest champion ever. So at his age point, right? I think he's still...
I think the thing is though, like, how do we know any of that was not under the influence of PEDs?
Yeah, how do we know that?
Like when you throw that into, I get what you're saying, but like when you throw that into the conversation, then it's just like, okay, we have to question everything.
Think about like the toughest fight ever, the Gustafsson fight.
Yeah.
Would he have gotten through that without PEDs? Because that's the kind
because
of,
he was on a bender too, so I don't know.
Exactly, that's the edge he had to get over to these guys.
You know what? We at Lingo News, we really haven't done anything UFC related, but we figured to try it out. It was an interesting conversation for sure. As always, let us know in the comments if you guys enjoyed this, if you guys like this type of content, and drop in the comments what you guys think. Is Jon Jones' career over? Have we seen it all when it comes to Jones? Is he in your top 10 fighters all time? Let us know. Take care.
Yo, what's up? Thanks for watching our video, and if you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe, and watch our other videos.
Pick 'em right there.